I am not sure about this woman that has been appointed for to become the head of the Department of Justice. And I don't know a lot about her, but I've been looking into it. Loretta Lynch. Obama appointed her to become the next Attorney General, taking the place of Eric Holder. She is a friend of Eric Holder and Barack Obama, and I'm just not sure. So I have been looking around and asking around. I have with me Sidney Powell. She is a former DOJ, Department of Justice federal prosecutor for 10 years in Texas and Virginia, and a 20-year private lawyer. She's the author of a book about corruption in the DOJ entitled License to Lie. And I wanted Sidney to come on with us for a few minutes here to talk about this department and with this woman, Loretta Lynch. Sidney, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
All right, on. I'm glad you're here. Whom did you serve under while in the Department of Justice?
I served under 9 different United States attorneys in 3 districts across the country and multiple attorneys general. I don't think I could even name them all for you.
That's amazing.
Yes, I'd have to go back and reconstruct history in a big way to figure that out.
No, I wouldn't want to put you through that. Not at all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have any administrations of the Department of Justice been more corrupt than others?
Yes, some have definitely been more corrupt than others. I think this one takes the cake, unfortunately. I mean, I think everyone was hoping that this administration would bring significant change and in many good ways, and that's not what we've gotten.
Why did people think that this administration would? I mean, before Barack Obama became president, we knew something of his background in that he was associated with Jeremiah Wright Jr. and others. And then he was, when he chose Eric Holder, we knew what Eric Holder was about. Why did people believe for 1 second that things would get better?
I think because they wanted to. I mean, everybody wants to think that the future is going to be better than the past, but it certainly didn't work out that way this time around.
It's amazing to me that people think wanting things to get better would make things better rather than changing and doing better to make things better.
It does take significant action, and it also takes people of good character and integrity, people willing to tell the truth about tough issues and address them honestly and fairly.
Can you give us examples of this department or administration that makes it the worst of all, you think?
Well, here's one example. A group called the Project on Government Oversight, pogo.org, came out with a report. It's certainly not a conservative group by any means, but they identified any number of instances of reckless or intentional prosecutorial misconduct. And Eric Holder is protecting the names of those prosecutors. We can't even find out who the prosecutors were, even though the Department of Justice's own records produced pursuant to a Freedom of Information Act request reveal that the Office of Professional Responsibility in the department itself found them guilty of this misconduct. Prior administrations have released the names of the prosecutors. Not only should the names be released, but they should be fired.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Loretta Lynch ask in her confirmation hearings what she's going to do about the prosecutors still in the department who have committed legal and ethical violations.
What I don't understand... Go ahead.
I was going to say, according to Leslie Caldwell, the new head of the criminal division of the Department of Justice, she doesn't even know that any of those prosecutors are there. But I think if she looked at the POGO report and her own records, she would see that.
What I don't understand, and I want to ask you next about Loretta Lynch, but what I don't understand about Congress and the Senate and the folks who are supposed to be protecting us from these type of people, Eric Holder and Obama having, I mean, it's just been one thing after another. Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal, Benghazi situation, and I could go on and on.
Yes, you can go on and on.
But why haven't Congress, the Senate, somebody stopped these people and done something about it? We all know it's insane. Why are they allowed to get away with it?
They should not be allowed to get away with it. Congress has its own issues and difficulties. It's not really the world's most effective mechanism for dealing with this kind of issue. 2 federal judges are on it, though, Judge Emmett Sullivan in the District of Columbia and Judge Bates, who I believe is also in the District of Columbia. Judge Bates just ordered the production of what's called the Vaughn Index, the list of documents and assertions of privilege or whatever might apply to the 65,000, I think it is, Fast and Furious documents. And that's how we learned that Eric Holder has written emails to his mother and his wife about Fast and Furious that they're trying to keep from being disclosed.
Wow.
Which is an outrage in itself.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're really to his wife and mother, he shouldn't have been writing about the internal workings and business of the Department of Justice to them. And there's one theory that they're actually code names for people in the White House. And,
wow.
That could be even more interesting. So Judge Bates is on the Fast and Furious issue thanks to Judicial Watch, a
Yes.
watchdog group.
Love that group.
They're trying to get this information. And the same with the IRS emails. Judge Sullivan is on that and will probably rule pretty soon about whether to allow Judicial Watch additional discovery to get the IRS emails, and I'm betting he gives it to him. Judge Sullivan is the one mentioned in my book, License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice, who appointed a special prosecutor to investigate the department itself. And that may be what needs to happen here with respect to the IRS emails if Loretta Lynch doesn't go in there and do something about it.
So the answer to my why question is that that Congress is not up to the task, and so that's why they haven't done anything in 6 years.
They don't have the agility and the same powers that a federal judge has.
Oh, I see. How much of
their whole process is a whole lot more complicated. I mean, they can hold hearings, they can issue subpoenas, but they can't appoint special prosecutors like a federal judge can. They can't. They don't seem to have much of an enforcement mechanism for their decisions, like holding Eric Holder in contempt. I mean, what good did that do?
I know. Is Loretta Lynch a good choice for Attorney General?
Well, everything I've heard about her in terms of her, personal integrity and the way she ran the U.S. Attorney's Office has been positive. I mean, I'm very encouraged about that. My concern is that no doubt she's been vetted by Eric Holder and certainly vetted by the president. And if she's going to have to do what they tell her to do, or, I don't know what promises she made to get the job. If they give her the independence that she needs, that'd be one thing. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. I really don't see them sending her in there to clean it up, and that's what needs to happen.
That's right. Sidney, let me take a quick break. I'll come back, and I want you to tell the folks how to get your great book. A few more questions here. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. I'm talking with Sidney Powell. Her book is Licensed to Lie. License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. Sidney, tell the folks how to get your book.
LicensedToLie.com is the website for the book and has links to purchase it through any number of outlets, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It should be available everywhere. Hudson Bookstores is carrying it in some of the major airport and train stations.
Oh, good. My concern is for this new appointed Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, that Barack Obama an Eric Holder haven't made one that I know of, one good decision since being in office. It's just been all lies, all the time. And I can't see them appointing a good person, a person who's going to stand up for what is right, never mind the color. I can't see them appointing an attorney general that would do that. And you say for Loretta Lynch to be a great attorney general, she has to separate herself from Obama and Holder. Do you see that happening?
That's, really hard to say. As many good things as I've heard about her personally, I am certainly hoping for that.
Right.
But I can only imagine the political pressure that will be placed on her, and she's going to have to define herself. It seems like she's the kind of person who's always done that, but like you said, I can't imagine that they haven't chosen someone who agrees with them on things that you and I don't agree with them on.
She's also
so how that will play out is another story.
She's also going to have to deal with the racial pressure because for liberal black Democrats, and I know she's a liberal, they are expected to discriminate against white folks, at least, in favor of black folks. And she's going to have to deal with that, as Eric Holder did, except that Eric was for it. That's going to be a major issue for this woman.
Yes, it will be, obviously.
Isn't that too bad?
It is too bad. It really is.
It's amazing. Well, we'll see what happens, but you think she will be confirmed?
I think it would be hard not to confirm her.
And why is that?
Because of her record.
Oh, man. Well, once she is confirmed, if and when she is confirmed, now that the Republicans have taken over, and will they be, you think they will have the courage to throw her out if she turns out to be another Eric Holder or worse? No,
I don't think there'd even be time to do that. I mean, she's really looking at 2 years or less in office.
Oh, I see.
And it'll take a certain amount of time to, produce any sort of record in that position.
Well,
and then, impeachment is such a political process in and of itself. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I kind of doubt that it will.
Well, I feel a little better. I didn't realize or hadn't thought of the fact that she only has 2 years, because if once the Republicans are in there, they decide who they want, right?
In terms of...
wouldn't that only happen if we get a Republican president? If we got another Democrat...
Whoever the next president is will pick his own attorney general.
But if it's Hillary, though, Hillary may keep her.
No, Hillary will have some sort of political debt she wants to pay off by picking somebody else.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's good to know.
I'm sure she will want her own right arm in that spot.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your book. Once again, tell the folks the name of the book, how to get it. It's a must-read book, I believe.
Licensed to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. The website is licensed2lie.com, where you can read some excerpts from the book, and I've uploaded all the documents that support the book to the website, so there's a ton of information there. You can follow me on Facebook, Licensed to Lie on Facebook, and follow me, Sidney Powell, or send me a friend request. And I'm on Twitter at Sidney Powell, the numeral 1. Be glad to hear from everybody, and it really is an easy-to-read book written like a legal thriller to be interesting. It's got scads of interesting events in it, as well as the story of the high-profile litigation of the last decade and how prosecutors corrupted justice to facilitate their own careers.
Amazing. You appear to be a no-nonsense, straight-up kind of a person, and you worked in the Department of Justice for so long. Are you surprised at what's happening in our country, how far we have gone in the wrong direction?
Yes, I'm not only surprised, I'm absolutely appalled. And what I saw in this case just gave me more than I could stand and by way of a bellyful, and I had to write this book. It's not something I wanted to do, but it's something I had to do because the American people have to know what's going on to be able to make the changes we need to make and protect ourselves.
What are the chances that that will happen, that we will make the changes in order to protect ourselves?
I hope they're pretty good. I mean, I think this election shows that Americans are fed up with lies and deceit and dishonesty in our government. I mean, if the government doesn't follow the law, there is no law. And
Yeah.
we've got to start holding our government officials accountable and bring integrity back to our system.
My final question, can we change the government without changing the moral compass of the American people? Because I've noticed that corrupt people elect corrupt politicians. So do the people need to change first or the government?
I think there are more good people out there than we realize. They just are so busy doing their own thing and trying to make ends meet and take care of their own families. They don't always pay as much attention as they should to our political system and realize they can make a difference.
Oh,
I mean, if my book shows anything, it's that one person can make a difference. And there are lots of situations across the country every day where one person makes an extraordinary difference. So if we all just, each of us, do our part, if everyone will do something every day to make the world a better place, whether it's helping a neighbor or getting involved in a charity or voting and, paying attention to what's going on, we can make a huge difference. We can turn this around. That's what America's about. America's the world's greatest turnaround story.
Yeah, I agree to that. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for coming on, and I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you, Jesse. You too. Keep up the good work.
I will. God bless you.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. 888-77. I have a little more hope. You have hope, Andre, from that? What I notice is people with confidence and experience can give you hope. So, and she sounds like she's from that old school, where, huh?
No messing around.
That's right. No messing around. You can't be a thug and go to school and be her child and think that you're going to get away with it. It's that kind of stuff. That's what I like about life, man. I want that. I want that back. And so she gave me a little hope, folks. We got a lot of more stuff to cover, and I'll get to your calls, 888-775-3773. It is a spiritual battle, a warfare between good and evil. My biblical question of the week, when Jesus said to the disciples at the Last Supper, take this bread, it is my body. Drink this wine, I guess he called it wine, it's my blood. And when you eat and drink, do it in remembrance of me. What does he mean by that? A lot of Christians have been responding. I just want to know, what does he mean by that? We're going to take a break. Back in a moment.